We're about to dive into a system that was designed by medieval monks who apparently thought, let's make it as confusing as possible for future bedroom guitarists. But there's a good thing. Understanding this mess will be a foundation for everything in music theory to finally click for you. But to understand that, we need to go back in time. The Seven Conspiracy. It all traces back to 2000 years ago. To understand why our notation system is laid out the way it is, we need to go back to the ancient Greece. Greeks were sitting around and they were like, hey, let's base our entire music system on number 7. Why number 7? Well, because they saw 7 as perfect number. The union of earthly, 4, and the divine, 3. This number was everywhere in Greek life. Days of the week, religious rituals, and music. This is why your guitar has 7 natural notes before everything repeats. This is why your keyboard has 7 white keys that then repeat. Those Greeks basically laid the design of your instrument 2000 years before you picked it up. Letters get involved. Fast forward to around 500 AD. Boethius, a Roman scholar who thought, you know what music needs? Letters. He started mapping musical pitches to the Latin alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But the real MVP arrived in the 11th century, Guido of Arezzo, a medieval music teacher who was basically the first guy to figure out how to teach music properly. He basically looked at the letter system and said, alright, A through G, and then we just repeat them higher up. That's octaves, man. He was also the guy who invented Do, Re, Mi. Originally it was Ut, Re, Mi, to help singers learn pitches. He created the foundation for every music lesson you've ever had, including this one. This 7-letter system locked in the idea that every A, no matter how high or low on your guitar neck, is still just A. That's why the 12th fret sounds like the open string. Same note, higher octave. The Black Key Rebellion. Now let's take a look at a piano keyboard. Those 7 white keys, that's your A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We call them natural notes. But then you've got the 5 black keys sitting right there looking all mysterious. And here's where it gets weird. We don't give them new letter names. That would be too logical. Instead, we give them nicknames based on their neighbors. So the black key right here between A and B, we can call it A sharp, 1/2 step up from A, or B flat, 1/2 step down from B. It's same exact sound, but 2 different names. It's like you have a friend Robert, and some people call him Bob, and other people call him Rob. And this seemingly quirky naming system is actually clever. Our standard Western scale, the diatonic scale, has 7 notes. But when you look closely, it's built with a mix of whole steps and half steps. There are already natural half steps between E and F and B and C. But for the other pair of keys, there's a whole step, a little gap in between, and in this gap we put our 5 extra pitches. We don't give them new letters, we just slap a sharp or flat onto their nearest natural note. The enharmonic crisis. That brings us to music's ultimate identity crisis. The same exact note having 2 different names. This concept is called enharmonic equivalence. A sharp and B flat are the same fret on the guitar, same key on the keyboard, same sound, but musicians choose the name based on context. For example, when writing out scales, musicians like to use each letter only once, and that allows them to, for example, call a note A flat instead of G sharp when they already used a letter G in writing out their scale before. Later on in your musical journey, you will see some pretty cool use cases for that enharmonic equivalence, but for now, you just need to put up with the fact that it's confusing for the beginners. So why didn't we just scrap this confusing system and start over? Different cultures do their own thing. Germans call English B natural H, just to make it even more difficult. But the fundamental idea of letter names is pretty universal in music. Guido's syllables spread like wildfire across Europe, and in many countries, Do Re Mi is still how people learn their pitches. In the English-speaking world and many other Western traditions, the A to G letter system reigns supreme. It got ingrained by medieval notation, it works perfectly with how we write music on a stuff, and it maps flawlessly onto our piano keyboards. And honestly, it's pretty logical once you get past the initial confusion. Unless you're a guitarist. If you're a guitarist, then it's not so logical, but that's a whole different story. Next time when you're confused about how to call something in music, remember that you are dealing with a system designed by monks who thought that they were being helpful. And so this weird, brilliantly simple, and sometimes head-scratching old 7-letter system lives on, guiding beginners from their very first C on the keyboard to the most complex, breathtaking compositions. If you want to see more, put something in the comment down below, subscribe, and see you in the next one.